Chase success with Global.Media.com and celebrate it with or without champagne.
Early. I feel like we're early, but our friends will tell me we're not early. You know, we're just about starting within reason, right? How are you, Christina? How are you today?
I'm great. I'm great. Very excited for today's topic, and I hope our audience, either live or on Team Replay, will enjoy it and get some value out of it.
Yeah, well, the ones who'll be watching on my YouTube as well, you know, I'm sure they'll get something out of it for sure. Before we start, you know, you got two profiles on LinkedIn, right?
Yes. I will close the other one.
Yes, kill the other one.
Don't out me. It's illegal.
I saw it down there somewhere, you know, when I was trying to tag you, and I thought,
Yeah, you know what it is.
oh,
It's
that's Christina. That's definitely Christina. And I thought,
it is. No, actually, there is more than one person with my name.
Really?
But yes, but the thing is, if you end up logging in with your Gmail by mistake, a profile is automatically generated.
Wow. Oh, well. You live and learn, right? There's only one me. There has to be there's only one you. You know?
Yeah, and then there's somebody with my name that is also in marketing, and they live in Italy. So
anyway, I'm excited to learn about this pipeline for sure. Hello, superstar Linda. I said Linda. Anyone who buys a ticket, Christina, as you know, I go crazy, right? I get very excited. You know, I got to try and do this 150 times. I'm through the first 10 odd, so my also have to sell tickets as well. Anyway, if anyone wants to make any genuinely happy, buy a ticket for Also Speakers Conference. That one. Yeah, no, that one. Yeah, there you go. I managed to make Paulette deformed. Christina's bought her ticket, so you know, and she got lavish in praise as well. So why not? You know, it's all good. It's all good. We're getting there. And we're just planning our next one, right, for authors.
I guess we're buying love, right?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm glad to say that we're just planning this workshop or this master classes for writers who want to get their book done. You know, so yeah, I think anything that helps people, that really helps people, it's a good thing. And I'm glad, you know, you're one of those people who is always keen to help. I say, you know, the authors thing, that's in April, that's in May. We've got our event in March, how to make your first 10K month, right? You know, that's another workshop with Christina. So I'm excited. I love someone who's keen to make a real difference rather than just talk. You know, talking is good. Don't get me wrong. I love talking, but you know, teaching, learning, implementing, that's the real secret, right? That's the real secret to business. Let's work on Suzanne. I hope I pronounce it properly. I don't know. You know, there's many ways to say Suzanne. Anyway, you're here. How are you doing? Hello to you too. Thank you so much for joining us. Christina, talk to, you know, of course, if you're here, my friend, drop us a comment. I can't see you otherwise. I know I can see numbers. I don't know it's you, right? Denise, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute, as my friends say. How are you? I thought my account was cloned again with my Gmail account. Thank you for my.
See, we already shared nuggets. It happened. It's not a cloning thing. We are not. So this is actually something that we need to point out when we talk to LinkedIn itself, because
it's a problem.
You're not opening those accounts. You just logged in a second Gmail, and before you know it, you're logged in. You're like, who's this person? So there you go. So we just have to be careful when we have a chance to clean them up, and be careful that we log in with the right email.
Yeah, and a lot of people get hacked. And I do have their accounts hacked on LinkedIn. You know, I've got a few friends who have been hacked recently. I'm saying, you know, it's a worry. You know, so no one needs that.
Yeah. Know? So that's the thing, and it's good. It's a good thing when we have people that do some QC for us and say, do you know that this is happening? You have a typo in your newsletter. Thank you, Annie, for the other day.
You took it very well. I suppose.
Yeah, thank you.
It tells you I actually read the newsletter, right? And if you know how lazy I am, I'm lazy. I don't like to read. I
And the
do.
most important part.
Yeah, and I read all the way. I read halfway, then I thought, this is going on a bit. How much longer? And then I thought, okay, it's not that bad. So I carried on reading. Of course,
Yeah, try to keep them to 6 minutes reading tops.
I read it all. Well done, you. Feedback is a good thing, right? I see you, Zara. How are you? I haven't missed anyone. I think Denise is repeating the comment. Yeah, hi everyone. Okay, right. Christina, I'm so desperate to learn about this pipeline. Anything that's guaranteed to get us clients, we want to learn, right? Share with us. This is your brainchild, so I'll let you be the star of the show today.
Well, thank you. It's not secret, really, meaning, do we really know what a pipeline is? Because everybody's talking, lead generation, pipeline. I'll get you uh, 30 calls in 1 month, or 30 warm leads, 100 people that you can contact, and one of them is going to become a client. So there is all of this advertisement going on, right? I'll give you client, I'll get you leads, I'll get people to email list that you can just blast with whatever your marketing messaging is. But that's going to take forever. 6 months ago, I got on a heated commenting discussion about somebody that was saying send 300 to 400 DMs a day, and you get 3% response. And I'm like, that's no way to build a brand or to make a name for yourself, because for the 3%, you're pissing off so many people in the process with stuff that they don't really want to hear about it. And then I had this experience with a client of mine who was working with an agency, and she was keeping on getting on calls. Her calendar was full, super excited at the beginning, but then every time she was in front of somebody, they were either in a country where she couldn't support them, or they thought that she was completely somebody completely different person. In some instances, they thought that she was a man, or a whole business, a whole corporation. So yeah, the calls were getting booked, but the marketing message was wrong. So the best way to turn LinkedIn into a lead machine and build a repeatable client pipeline is that you do it yourself and you do it organically. So that's what we need to learn here, and that's really what I teach my clients. I do it with you. When my services, I don't do things for you. I could, and I can help you, but I'm not going to be any help if you cannot fly solo. So that's the goal. The goal is to really understand how things work. And the goal is to really understand enough about your business to be able to promote it. So when I say a pipeline, sure, it's a list, and it's coming from somewhere, right? But it's not necessarily all clients. And it doesn't have to be 300 in a week. It could be great but then you have to act on it. It can
Yeah.
be just the 3 to 7 names on a daily basis that is in your daily to-do list, in your daily pipeline. And thing is, it's going to include, and it better include, people that can open doors for you. Even if those names meet every day on your list, it means, okay, this person I collaborate with, I'm doing some work with, uh, we've been working on some things together, or we I help them, giving them some advice, right? I know what they do. Let me get on a call with them and see if they know somebody I should know. So that's a way to have a pipeline. I'll stop here and let you interject.
Yeah, no, let me welcome Gary first of all. Gary, it's been a long time, my friend. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. I think there's an important point you make there, Christina, in terms of the numbers game we play on lead generation on LinkedIn. And I say, I was that guy. I was the search and connect guy. Some call it search and pitch slap. I think you can be more subtle in your follow up to DMs, to connection requests and connection invites. And I was about, I'm talking before COVID, really. I would do 300 connection requests per week per client. That's 1,200 a month, guaranteed every month using Sales Navigator, right? And 3%, no, that's not bad out of 1,000, right? That's not bad. That's a good, if you figure that the best salespeople will convert 4 out of 10, the very best salespeople. You're not going to sell to 10 out of 10. If you can do that, you're remarkable. Now, come and tell me what you're doing. Let's write that book. Really. So 4 out of 10 was pretty good. See, then LinkedIn changed the game. LinkedIn said you can only do 100 connection requests a week. In reality, they mean you can only do about 60 a week, because unless all those people accept your connection invite and engage with you, LinkedIn knows, and LinkedIn knows that you are prospecting, and LinkedIn hates that. They'll block your account. I had someone come to me this week, and he's doing all the usual rubbish. So he's asking you questions in every DM. I'm like, stop doing that. Just stop. I know what you're doing. I'm not going to buy from you. I know the game you're playing. I've played the game myself. I wrote the rule book. Don't play that game. Let's meet. Let's talk. End of. And if we're going to get on or we're not going to get on, but I'm not going to buy your automated system to try and get leads off LinkedIn. It's a guaranteed way to get your account into LinkedIn jail. And LinkedIn is unforgiving. If they catch you doing automated prospecting on LinkedIn, they'll block your account for good. There's no coming back at all. Nothing you can say, nothing you can do. So you can send DMs manually if you want. I'm saying, but as you said, you are pissing off 95% of the people that you connect with. If you get 3 leads out of 100, just think how many prospects. 3 leads. They say you sell 25%, so you haven't even got a sale in a month if you only get 3 leads. Think of that. That's the truth. That's the hard numbers, right? So that's the game people are playing today. You have to find a better way to generate your friends on LinkedIn. I use those words pointedly. You have to generate those conversations on LinkedIn, because then they become your friends, and then you might engage them. Then you might maybe you can sell to them one day. So the old tricks don't work anymore, my friends. The blasting people after searching for them and looking at their profile on LinkedIn doesn't work. There has to be a better way. Christina has a better way for us to learn today. That's the beauty of today, right? I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm excited.
So,
Tell us.
it's context. So there's got to be a context. You can't just go and search and look at profile and say, oh, let me send them a message right now with my Calendly link. You have to talk. So you have to talk to them first. So he was talking about sending connections requests, right? Which is different than sending messages. Or sometimes you can send a connection request with a message. Yes, there was a time where you could send 300 to 400 connections requests in one day and nothing would happen. You could do it. But those days are gone, and it's good that they're gone, because I understand, somebody that new solo entrepreneur wanting to grow their visibility in their account, and maybe they're coming from Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, especially if they're coming from TikTok and they think, oh, I need to get to 10,000 followers now, right? Well, that's not, you don't unlock anything. See, on TikTok, when you start getting past 3,000, you start unlocking perks and capability to go live, and then later on sponsorship and selling onto the TikTok shop and all that. Here, it doesn't work like that. It's the opposite. It almost locks you out, LinkedIn jail. So what LinkedIn has been asking us to do and now in the last couple of years is, are you here? Are you on the platform? Are you actually here on the platform and engaging, having conversations? And are you here in alignment with what this platform is? Are you here to do business? So are you using LinkedIn the way we would like for LinkedIn to be used, right? So you can connect with people. You can. My rule of thumb, if I'm on a growing trend, and usually my growing trend is not based on the numbers of followers, but it's based on who else can I connect to that is interested in what I do, and we can have a conversation, and we can both benefit from our mutual connection. When I do those things, I don't go and send 30, 50 requests a day. I usually limit myself to 15 if I have a purpose. And then I send them and I observe for a week what's going on. 7 accepted, nobody accepted. So maybe I'm connecting with the wrong people altogether. 8 accepted, 12 accepted. I must, something in my profile said, oh, let me connect with her, right? So the moment they connect, what do? Oh, they're here. It's a number. Perfect. My following is growing up. That's useless. So if they connect, now you just talk to them. You're a person. You're not AI. You're not an automated message. So if it's aligned and there was a reason why you were connecting with this person, tell them. And explain, this is me, this is what I do, wanted to connect with you because maybe we can collaborate. There is some alignment, I think. I see that you do lives. I also go do lives. Or I see that you're working on building your business. Of course, it is my expertise. And have you tried this? And give a tip, right? In my situation, that's what I would do if they connected back. And then observe who's answering those initial communications of mine. Out of 7 people, all 7 answered. Great. Now, this is a conversations that there is a mutual interest, and I can consider these people that they can be put in a pipeline. Doesn't mean these are people that I'm gonna spam and trying to sell to as much as possible. These are people that I'm gonna invite to events. These are people that I'm gonna prompt, if they are not already prompt, to subscribe to my content and my newsletters. And these are people that I eventually gonna invite to book a call. And when I book a call, it's a discovery call. Doesn't mean, of course, as a business person, I hope that it becomes mutually beneficial and I can actually support them in the best way possible that I can support them. But a conversation, a 20 minutes conversation after there has been initial interaction is just as powerful. I have many people I talk to, they never became clients, but they referred a client. So that's part of those people that end up being in your network, in your pipeline, that open doors for you. And you're a human. There is a limit to all this. If you were doing 200, 300, 400 a day, then you would just go crazy and lose yourself unless you have a team to be able to follow up with all those things. But when you're starting out or you're in the initial stages of scaling, this needs to be a repeatable system. Needs to be something that you do with calm, not in haste, thinking, I have to do this because something needs to happen. And it needs to be more than anything, it needs to be repeatable. I guarantee you that if you do this 10 to 15 times, 15 interactions on a daily basis, your calls are going to come in. You're going to start to get those bookings that you want, only if it's aligned. And when I say online, aligned, it's not just, oh, I'm sending the message, I'm telling them what I do, I'm inviting them. But when these people connect with you and they receive a message from you, what's the first thing that they're going to be doing? They're going to look at your profile. So is your profile the landing page you want your prospects or people that you want to build a strong relationship with, the page you want them to land to? Is it a good functional landing page for you? Doesn't have to be fancy, but does it say clearly what you're doing? Does it say clearly what are those transformations that you offer? Does he have a little bit of history about you, maybe in some photos, your posts? Maybe you have newsletters. I mean, are they gonna get somewhere where they say, this is what it is, or they're gonna get in there and they're gonna be all confused? Oh, wait a second. She works in a zoo, but she also does marketing. Oh, and she's a singer, and she's offering different services: babysitting, singing, and lead generation, all there. So that's very confusing. So curating that profile in a way that when you start doing that work of engaging daily, people get in there and they have a UX experience, right? UX, a user experience. So it needs to be function. It needs to say what it is. It needs to have words that immediately deliver a message and are attracting. And if people want to say, okay, how do I contact her? How could I contact this person? Oh, there is a calendar link right there, visible. If they want to see, I wonder what it is like to work with this person. Do you have any reviews in there? Or I wonder what it costs. Are your prices visible somewhere where somebody can discover them? So all that is part of it. There needs to be context in everything. You connect with somebody, there's gotta be context. Maybe the context is that you connected with somebody that you know, but that you really know, not a random person you never spoke to. Or the context is you both RSVP to an event about a subject that interested you and incidentally interested this other person too. So that could be the context. Because sometimes people will ask you, okay, I'm glad to connect and grow my network, but why did you connect with me? And that's part of the gimmick that Annie was talking about. That a lot of us used to, I mean, I used to, but a lot of people still do that. Immediately they say, okay, happy to connect, right? What is in my profile that prompt you to connect, right? And usually people ask that question because they want to be able to filter. Are you here to do business? Are you just growing your network? You know, what do we have in common? What can we do? And I know it might seem cold and calculating, or it might sound cold and calculating. It is not. It's really something that has to do with context. I met many wonderful people on this platform. Some of them I've never done and never will do business with, right? But it's just pleasant to interact with them and gone to events together, even fun events. They were not all about business, they were really social. But, that's the context where they're in. And I might not never do business with them, but I guarantee you they do know what I do. And there will be an opportunity, or there might be an opportunity for them to say, oh, I know what Christina does. Let me tell somebody. And this happened to me too. There are some amazing people that offer a lot of value, but it's not aligned with the services that I'm seeking. And I often find myself mentioning them because I do read their content and I do end up in the same lives with them and listen to them talk. So I know it's a name that it's here. It's embedded in my brain, and it's something that I ended up trusting passively. So this is also part of building a repeatable client pipeline. And when we boldly said in 30 days, yes, if you take 30 days out of your calendar month, um, and religiously every day, you take these actions. Find 5 to 10 people I want to connect with today, and not random, not just because I have to find them, but they are similar to the client persona that I look to serve, or they do similar things to what I do. So observing and learning from others that are doing something similar to what you're doing, it's also very valuable. So there is context in there. They do events, they go to events, all in the same topic, the same context. So I'm going to connect with them. Then you might end up finding people in another little thing that everybody's talking about, which is the comments. And that has everything to do with your pipeline and context. Still going back to how LinkedIn is changing, you all have noticed comments are getting more impressions, more visibility, but not all comments, some of them. And there is this urge, especially by some of the leading creators, to say you gotta comment 200 times a day. If you don't comment at least 30 times by 10 a.m. in the morning, you're toast for your visibility. And there is some value, and there is definitely a lot of value in commenting, but it's not massive action that is going to produce the result that you're looking for. Doing that is the same thing as sending all these DMs, or the same thing as sending random connection requests. Because what's happening is that because people are eager to comment, they got their iChat box open on one page, and they go through the feed and literally cut and paste and produce automated comments and just put them in there. And it doesn't do anything because you don't even remember the comment that you made on somebody's post. And most of the time, it's so misaligned, and it's very obvious that you are not the human being that read the post and actually said something that added value or was in the context of the original post. So the true value of commenting is, one, having your profile really aligned to who you are and what you're doing and what you're seeking to do, and your content doing the same thing, so that your feed is not random. Your feed actually shows you things that are interesting that you might want to express your opinion upon. Then, only if you see something that said, this is interesting, this is right in my lane, I should have a say in this, then opening it, actually reading it, and making an actual comment. And it might not be 10 a day, it might be 3 today. Some days it might be none. But it has to have value, because if it has the right value, what's going to happen is somebody's going to actually like your comment. What happened to me is that somebody messages me and said, "Oh, I read your comment on this big, person's post, and let's connect." So those are the things that help you filter prospects, future collaborations, people that might be opening doors for you through networking. So people are having conversations, entire conversations in the comments. If you find the right feed, if you find the right post, they actually prompt somebody to take action and express their views about something. So that's one way. Is it good for your overall impressions and visibility? Yes, because LinkedIn is favoring that type of engaging. But also when you send a message, say we did this event today, right? And one thing that I noticed is that, well, I end up sending messages, manual messages, inviting people manually for a couple of reasons. One is because oftentimes when I do that, people actually attend the event. And two is because I do a lot of events, and sometimes I run out of bulk invites. So when I'm actually inviting somebody to attend an event, now I started a conversation. and there is context there, and it's a conversation that is aligned to everything, to this event, to everything that I do. People will come, they will get an idea. Okay, that's what's happening here. What else can I find out about this person? So that's how it works. Your profile needs to be aligned. Your content needs to be aligned with your profile. Your skills, even skills that you acquired during your work experience at several jobs, are they there listed on LinkedIn, and does it make sense? Are they still speaking about what you do today, or that skill is outdated, is from another time, another life, and another job, and it shouldn't even be there? Or for sure, it should not be, in the list of your top 5 skills. So looking at all those little things, it's very valuable, because LinkedIn is indexing your profile, is filtering through the language of your profile, and then it's AI that does it. So it understands words in the context of what's valuable on the platforms right now, because people are engaging and liking with posts and events that have those words in it. And people that are using those words in those events have the same words in their profile. So that's step number 1 of aligning everything together. And then there is this thing that I love, and they are newsletters and articles. Newsletter especially. It takes a little bit of consistency to have a blog or a newsletter that goes out every day. But what that does, it really filters your audience. Somebody is following that newsletter, commenting, even if not often, because not everybody comments and engages. Some people, either they do a comment or they're just reading and listening. But if somebody subscribes, it's worth it every so often to go to your subscribers list and see who they are. Should I invite them to an event? Should I thank them because they're reading? Should I ask them, what do they like, or anything that they would like to see in this newsletter? So this is all good way to do business. We used to call it all customer service. Now customer service, it's really customer engaging, and it's a huge part of marketing. And that's what builds your LinkedIn into a lead machine, a repeatable system, actions that you take every day. I'm connecting, I'm responding to messages, I'm interacting with somebody else's content. I'm sharing my opinion, and I'm connecting with this person if I'm not connected to. I'm reading this other person comment in that post, and I like what they said. I don't think their comment was AI generated. I think they're a real person. They got a good point. They're asking a question. I have the answer to. We are not connected. Let's connect. We're connected. Let's send them a message. So that's all in the context, and that's all repeatable. And when the time is right, if there is context, they expressed interest in your opinions. They said that they're getting value out of your newsletter. They said that they learned so much after attending one of your events. Then let's meet, right? Then invite them to a conversation. Not invite them to, hey, let's work together now. This is, book and become my client. Invite them to the conversation to discover where do they fit in your pipeline, and where do you fit in their pipeline. Is there somebody that is going to become source of referrals, somebody that you might be doing a collaboration with? There's somebody that really needs you out today, and that was perfect timing. So that's the repeatable client pipeline that I want to talk about. Annie, back to you.
Trying to find my way back. No, I like that. There's a certain, I think, positioning ourselves as the person who does ABC, whatever that is, right? It starts there. It's like you say, your profile is a big part of that. what's in your profile. And there's many different parts of making your profile reflect who you are, I suppose is the best way to describe it, right? I mean, this all sounds like the perfect LinkedIn Bruce 360 thing, where they want to be, it's who you engage with at LinkedIn will show you more people like, right?
Yeah.
Hence, as you're saying, comment in the right places, spend your time, but don't overdo it. No, don't overdo it, my friends. A lot of people just overdo it. You don't need to comment 25, 30 times a day. Some people do, by the way. They really do. It's too much. And LinkedIn knows you're being too much. LinkedIn, they want everyone at LinkedIn wants quality conversations, not numbers. Go on, please. And I know
Yeah.
Zara's here as well. So go on, please carry on.
So yeah, the other thing was, yeah, there is a limit, right? I saw a post the other day, and it was about we are comments and content slaves, because I gotta wake up in the morning and I gotta do this for LinkedIn, and I have to create. They were putting the post was about you're a content slave because you're creating free content. You're working for LinkedIn for free, creating all this content just to get these impressions, just to get this visibility going. And I did respond to that post. And the thing is this: when you are on LinkedIn, the first thing that you have to ask yourself is that, okay, I'm on LinkedIn. How does my business earn money? Okay, my business earns money if somebody actually decides to work with me, and they buy one of my programs, and now we're working together. And if are you spending 75% of your time doing something that actually ends up generating revenue? So that you're working with a client, or you're messaging a prospect, or you're creating valuable content that is gonna provide value, and you get noticed for the right thing, for what you actually do. And if you do that 75% of your time, then the other 25% of your time, you can go ahead and create content that you're going to post on the platform, commenting and all that. But then if you look at this content that you created with this 25% of your time, is it generating the kind of interest that is going to end up producing the 75%? And that's what we must not forget. It becomes addicting. Oh, I'm commenting. I commented 200 times, and now I have 12,000 impressions. My impressions have gone up, but they're not converting. It's all entertainment. There are LinkedIn profiles and businesses with, yeah.
It's not even engaging. I think
No.
that's more the problem. What I used to post every day on LinkedIn, and like you say, I guess once you start anything, it gets addictive, because you think, if I just do more of it, it will work. But no one responds, and you think, something. It's about being intentional, and going for quality. Let me welcome Yolanda. How you doing, superstar? I'm glad you're here. Yolanda is my next author. Is coming off, the treadmill, if you want to call it that. The conveyor belts. That's the word for it, right? And I wore my pink suits, Yolanda. Where are the pictures? She does breast cancer work, so I wanted people to wear pink for Valentine's. And I oblige. I wear pink happily. I've got a pink suit. Well, it's raspberry colored. I have It's not pink. It looks pink. Let's not worry about that, right? But she's happy with that. Glad you're here, Yolanda. Jay, I see you too. How are you, my friend? Thank you for joining us. Right, let me start talking. Let's talk to Zara. Zara, you are into generating numbers every day, right?
Oh yeah.
Do you have a question for Christina, or do you want to share how you generate your leads? What's working for you?
It was thank you first for any, Sir Annie, for always like being kind, and salute, brother Annie. And Christina, it's so good to see you doing amazing with how you are, like, the journey from your Christina part one, and now Christina is on. He's gone, way, way, way ahead. And thank you, Annie, and thank you, Christina. It was so amazing to listen to you. Keep up the good work. Yes, we are born with these, any those five senses. Um, as humans, we all have that. Um, Touch, taste, sight, smell, and hearing. And so, but there is also another one, that is sixth sense. That is the common between us. And the beautiful thing is, like how she has now started, Christina has started connecting all the dots with those experiences she is having every day. Okay. And this is so amazing because you're learning the process. In the last conversation we're having with you were having with Paulette, where you ask about, and I said it's so cranky when you're a lifelong learner. Because you wake up with that mission in your schedule, and the beautiful thing is, like how we said, that small little habits is building that lead machine for you, because you're being guided, you have a support now, and somebody's telling you, and you're listening, and you're following those steps. Mike, and I really like how Cyrus always, he very, I respect Cyrus a lot. And think and grow your niche, I would say, like, because everybody is using this word, find your customer persona, the right customer profile, the really person you wanted to connect with. I respect that, because in the end, you have to find that right person, because not everybody is going to understand, or you're going to have your services. So think and grow your niche to narrow down everything. But um, to build this pipeline of who is your ideal customer, or who is that one that you are really talking to them when you wake up, and you intentionally have all those conversations in your head, and now you are replying them back through your contents. You're connecting because you already had those conversations with them, and you know their objections, and now you're handling those rockets of objections, right, Annie? If 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 I make sense, right? Because views, yeah, people are going to come, and there is lots of time, people, we can see that there are impressions, and they're reading it, and then step by step, you know that now you're having conversations with people, you know their objections, and you tell them through your contents, and you connect with them. It's not like that the way you were thinking. It was like that, because you only know network marketing the way you know it. But there is until you're not an expert, you cannot discuss, or you cannot tell this opportunity to anybody, especially not to your family and friends, for example. Just telling you something. So people, when they're excited about any new opportunity, or you know that is out there, they they start sharing it. And that's the problem, because you cannot share everything on the very first time. You have to make them understand, they have to get trained. And until they don't get trained, they cannot you know do this, because that the point is like to have those warm list of people ready, because now they are waiting and building that follow up of the people, whether that's through newsletter or whether that's you're posting something intentionally to the people you really wanted to connect with. Because now I'm not that I have my boundaries, and it's so important to, like, when you're in the business, to understand that what are your boundaries, and who are those you really wanted to work with. Because you have now heard so many of no's in life, and now those no's, they don't spike you, and or it's not spiraling, but you don't take it as rejection. You take it as, okay, okay, this no is clearing the path, and you're moving towards the yes. So when you have those kind of customers or those kind of people who are following you up through WhatsApp or through TikTok or through Instagram, any social media network, you really start enjoying your people who are following you. It doesn't really matter if you are selling it right now, your services, but you know that there are people who are looking to any that he is going to, right? So if I make a little sense, yeah, it's important to to connect, to find your people, and LinkedIn, TikTok, be it from any. I have connected many people through LinkedIn, and yes, there are some people I'm working with them, and they're following me up on through my contents, okay, and then they reach out to me on my DMs to have more clarification. And when I know they are not on the same page, what I does, that every professional, whether he has worked for five years or 15 years, they think they are the best networking professional out there now,
Mm.
right? And everybody thinks like that. But you never know, like when you get into something more deeper and deeper and deeper, and then when you make it your purpose of life, you get to learn many new things. And I have seen so many of those encyclopedias out there who who have like series of failures in their life, and they're still out there, making trying to prove themselves. Okay, yes, with something. Okay, they are the living examples in front of us. But what I noticed, okay, all these people, they know their people which they are connecting with, and they have the customer list. And then psychologically, they intentionally make these contents so that those right people can come to their DMs. They don't chase leads all the time, because they have built that connection with their audience. So the
Yeah,
leads
yeah.
chase. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's the good days, right? When people start coming, when the right people start coming to you. I mean, let's be honest. Say many of us, Christina, on LinkedIn, people come to us to try and sell us something. That's the hard truth, right? But I think I guess your point, as Zara's point, is that we can paint a picture or at least create a persona, a profile that attracts people that we want to serve. It's a very fine line, between, you know, I guess potential clients searching for you and finding you, and salespeople searching for you and finding you. I'm long in the tooth. I get many salespeople every day. You know, not so much those who want to. Any, can you help me? I wish I got more of those. But the Christina does everything. She does the newsletters. You do all the LinkedIn thing. I don't bother. I found a shortcut. It's called events. It works for me. It gives me enough leads, enough customers that I can handle. Even then, I'm overrun already. I had to. You know that fine line between, in business, scale, we call it scaling, Christina, where you think you want more customers, but deep down, if you got more customers, you'll be ruined. You'll be ruined, you'll be destroyed, right? Because you can't cope. You can't meet all their needs, you can't serve all of them. So I've got more than enough to deal with right now. I don't know what my screen's frozen. I think is it me? Possibly.
I can hear you. If you want, I
Yeah,
can
you can still hear
interject.
it. Yeah, yeah. Feel free. Feel free. So I can
So
just tap my device.
it's not a number game. It's really a precision game. But you have to have a hat to pull numbers out of, right? You have to attract people to what it is that you have to offer through a topic. Now, you use your events, right? You do a lot of events. You say that I do everything, but you do events really often, 3 to 4 weeks at least. So I know you do a lot of events, and as you said, that's what works for you, right? That there are leads there. There are leads because people are attending, people are watching, either here or on YouTube, and they might be messaging you, or they might subscribe to your YouTube channel, and now you have emails that you can use for promotions. So LinkedIn offers a lot of tools that we can utilize. One of them is events. One of them is newsletters and articles. They function in terms of collecting interest in a similar way. The title goes out, is promoted through the events. LinkedIn sends some of the, once the event is published, it's there, it's available. People see, they can decide to attend. You can promote it yourself with 1,000 invites a week. But then again, those are a shot in the dark unless you do some follow up. And newsletter is the same. Now, I like the newsletter, one, because I enjoy putting it together. And for me, it's not a process where I'm creating free content for LinkedIn. It's actually something that helps me staying aligned with my own niche, providing value in topics relevant and related to my own niche. I even have one that is called Reveal Your Niche. But what it does is that I notice, you have to listen, you have to look and observe. Who are these new people that signed up, that subscribed? Have I had a conversation with them? Do they look aligned to what I'm doing? Does it look like it could be somebody I could support or somebody I could be working with? You have to pay attention. You cannot just say, great, 6 months ago I had 7,000 followers, now I almost have 9,000. And did you talk to any of them? Did you interact with any of them? What was it for? Just to, I do it every 1,000. I do my celebratory post, right? I celebrate another 1,000 connections, followers. But I can tell you that I spoke at least to half of them for every 1,000, during that time, because I needed to. I'm using LinkedIn as a source for leads. I use other things, but LinkedIn is where I get, where I gauge if there is an appetite for what I do. I see who's interested. I built and developed my brand utilizing it, right? I tell my story through it. So it's really, it cannot be a game for the sake of numbers or for the sake of looking good. I mentioned TikTok, which I was on TikTok, and then for other reason I decided not to do TikTok anymore. But on TikTok, it works exactly the opposite. You get in and you gotta get those followers, whether you know it or not. People do follow trains. Just follow me and I follow you, and you follow them and I follow you twice, right? Just to get those numbers, because you need them to do things, to unlock certain monetization aspects of the platform. Here it's not like that. Here we're doing the work. There is no monetization aspect of the platform unless you generate it for yourself. LinkedIn is not there yet. The newsletter is not monetized. The events are not monetized. unless you monetize them yourself externally. So on LinkedIn, precision is everything.
I agree.
Massive looks good. 30,000 followers, they look good. They kind of give that authority. So, okay, they have 30,000 followers. They've been here for a minute. Maybe I'll hire them. But people that get, they look at that, they may have a number complex. So that's the thing, right?
Yeah, it's a weird one. So the followers, especially, I think chasing vanity metrics. That's what followers
A
are to
number
me. And
complex.
so I know they're people, right? So I was talking to Paulette yesterday, and so I didn't know followers, and I was like, I think it's probably the biggest mistake LinkedIn's made. LinkedIn has a few things that could be improved. Company pages, for example, number one. Number two, followers. Because now the reason I say that is simply because your followers, they're just there. It's a number. They're people, yes, but you can't even message them unless you can try and DM them, but half of them you can't DM anyway because you're not connected to them. And I just don't understand, Christina. What's the point? And people go on about their followers. They celebrate the number. I've never celebrated a single number on LinkedIn because the numbers don't matter. It's not the numbers. And I love when
The
you
people.
say, like it's conversations that matter. It's a
This
conversation.
we can have, this is another topic where people, any, like, for example, they make a post and then they celebrate their 10,000, their
Mm,
100,000, their
mm,
200,000. This
mm.
is like,
And yeah, they can't sell one thing. They can't sell one cert. They can't get a customer. And I'm just like, what's the point then? you know, so some of those people will try and become influencers. Call it that. Let's say
exactly.
influencers.
Yeah.
They want you to pay them to post your stuff to their audience. I'm like, why do I want to do that? They don't buy from you, so why would they buy from me? It's this follower thing. The fact if there was a button to message your followers easily, I'll be happier. There's no way you have to message them one by one if you actually want a response from them, and
Yeah,
that's
so that's by observing. So
right.
if you send you can observe, right? And
Mm,
you look at your that metric and you say, I have 30 more followers this morning. What happened?
mm,
Right? So
mm,
and you can see who they are. Now there is one good feature that for example in the newsletter metric I noticed, and I think it's in the post too, it tells you how many people followed you since this post, since you made this post,
mm.
since you published this newsletter, right? So
And,
if
and,
you see that
and
somebody is following you, you
yeah,
should assess.
it tells you how many go to your profile from that content as well, from your
Yes,
posts, from your event, from your whatever your
but I do
newsletter, right?
assess my followers. I do assess my followers on a daily basis. Is
Really?
the new? Yes, I look because it's not a lot on a
And I
daily
also
You
basis.
engage with
You
them.
are
can
good.
handle it. No, you can manage it. All you have to do
I'm,
is look. Because I look connected, right? It says, okay,
mm,
I'm doing my daily pipeline, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, that repeatable client pipeline.
yeah.
I get up in the morning. Do I have a message? Yes, great. Respond. Do whatever I need to do. Um, no, I don't have a message. Okay, what's next? I'll look at my profile. Am I connected? Yes, great. Let's message them. Why did you stop by? Notice are they subscribed? Are they not subscribed? I don't message them every day. Only if there is context. Maybe they
Mm,
came to this event and now they're looking at my profile a week later. So that's the thing. There has to be context. But if I have new followers and they're not connected, I can look at who they are. I can try to formulate, you know, maybe they're following me because, right? And if I think there is context, I'll send a connection request. I'll say, hey, I notice you're following me. Let's connect. And I even go as far as explaining, if this person is an important contact that I think, as far as explaining what we just talked about, the human connection. Followers, the value of followers and all that. But it's not going to be that I sent 100 messages. It could be that tomorrow I just do that with one person, if it's aligned. If it's a follower that is following me, but I know there is no alignment, different industries, different side of the worlds, it's nighttime. When it's daytime, most of the day here or a day and a half ahead, I don't go and follow it back or connect unless they're really trying to for some reason.
Yes.
But I do look. That's part of the pipeline.
Nice. That's why you're good. I'm lazy. I'm not lazy. I don't care enough.
You're doing what is work. What you're doing, what you do, it works for you.
You are a Godzilla.
It's a different way. Events are my thing. If you come to my events, if you don't come to my events, I don't give us much chance of romance at all. I really don't. Even if someone connects with me and they're like, I'm like, no, come to my event. Then I get to see you. Of course.
But don't you want more people to invite?
And then we can book a meeting. Then we can have a conversation. And if you don't have a conversation with me, which is an important part of your pipeline, we're going nowhere. I don't care even if you tell me, Annie, I want you to publish my book. The first thing I say to you is, let's meet. No conversation, no can do. It's not. We're not gonna be. Nothing's gonna happen. I sent at least 3 messages this week to people saying, stop talking to me because I said let's meet. And if you haven't taken the chance, if we don't meet, I'm not gonna talk to you. I'm just not. I don't waste time. You know what I do. I don't know what you do, but I'm saying that's how I work, and that's it. And those conversations. Even the thing about conversations, Christina, is that today's conversation may get you nowhere, but it does make you a friend. It makes especially if you do it properly. I think there's a whole conversation that we can have around conversations in networking. Because it's not about selling. It's really about making friends. And some of those friends I've made, from years ago, they suddenly come back when they're ready. They remember you and they come back to you. But if you don't have the conversations, nothing happens on LinkedIn. Really not. So right. I don't know whether you want to say something before, and I say I would love to learn more about your points, your cadence step in your 4-step process, Christina. What's cadence?
It's just the frequency. Just the frequency of how you do things. So you did actually say something. I said something very important. If you're not going to have a conversation, why are we keeping on messaging each other, right? Because there is a process. The process is we connected. Thank you for connecting, right? Explaining a little bit about how you utilize the platform. I do events, invite them to events. I also have a newsletter. Please subscribe, observe if they engage. And only after they either come to an event or they're RSVP to an event where you were speaking, or only after you see that they actually take the time to subscribe, trying to have another conversation that actually asking questions. Okay, I see that you're doing this, right? What stage are you in right now? Or maybe invite them to vote to some of the polls. Really have 2 to 3 interactions, and then those interactions places them on a pipeline. After 2 to 3 interactions, it is, I know that you are somebody that supports my content, right? And trying to have a conversation, maybe regarding collaboration. Or I know you're somebody that is just a reader, but perhaps 6 months from now, they might be interested in something else, something more. And then there are those that are ready, or they're going to be ready soon, and in context, within context exactly. There is no cadence without context. If there is context, invite them to a 20 minutes conversation, a 20 minutes call to really, again, if you don't assess in person, you're never going to know. You have to have that human conversation to be able, if you can convert this person into a client. But the thing is, the crucial thing is about a pipeline is that not everybody in this pipeline is going to be a client, and it's okay. And you, if you want, if you like somebody that likes metrics, or you give value to metrics, whether they are the impressions, the followers numbers, or who looked at your profile, that's a good metric to look at. After 1 week, how many names did I put on this pipeline because I made an effort to actually cultivate and nurture some relationship? How many did I put there? And then on a daily basis, when I wake up and I look at that longer list, when I'm looking there, can I find 3 to 7 names that I'm going to put on my daily short list?
Mm.
Those 3 to 7 names that I'm going to put on the daily short list, I'm going to take action. And I'm going to take serious action. I'm going to get on a call with somebody that I've been working with for a while and see
Yeah.
if we can make something happen. Or this person's been liking, engaging, looking at my profile, making comments, sending me a couple of messages. It's now time to straight up ask, where are you at? Are you looking for some
Yeah.
support? Do you want to get on a call? And sometimes they say, I want to get on a call, but I don't feel ready financially and all that. And that's okay. They told you the truth, and they also told you, I want to get on a call. I take those
Yeah, I
calls
mean,
because those
I,
calls are the calls of they're going to materialize in 6 months.
yeah, no, Dr. Roxana, I see you. Welcome, welcome, my sister. So glad you're here. No, I think now the person who says those words, Christina, they're golden, right? Person who wants to talk about money before you even had to try and sell to them. That's brilliant. So I would celebrate that all day long because it means you're a serious prospect. That's next level prospecting. That's a real hot lead. That's hot leads go. Because now for that person, I say we can easily have a conversation and we'll find options. Whether it's payment options, whether it's service options, but that person, I won't let them go. I would not want to lose them or the conversations anytime soon. I will do everything in my power, which is invite them to more events and try and get them on stage and then try and get them to really have that conversation with me, right? So I mean, I think it's understanding how to have the conversations. I like how you break it down. Because we need to know how to have those conversations in a way that I might say we need to be open to people selling to us as much as we want to sell to them in our conversations. A lot of people will say to you, but people don't want to book to meet me. I'm like, it's because you're saying to them, let's meet so I can sell you my stuff, but I don't want to know about your stuff. That's silly. It has to be a conversation. A conversation means I'll tell you what I do, you tell me what you do. Let's see whether there's mutuality in any way. Can we work together? Because you can help me, or because I can help you, or maybe we create something, a collaboration you mentioned earlier, Christina. I think we have to be open to genuine conversations, not a sales meeting. That's the whole different thing, right? So if I meet you today, I'm not going to try and sell to you because I don't know you. I say this all the time. I say this when I get the chance. I don't want to sell to everyone. I don't want to work with everyone because I don't want to work with you if I like you and I know I can help you. And I don't like many people, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest, right? So I say no half the time because unless you are my kind of person, I can't. It's too much stress. I know what it's like to work with people that you don't get on with, you don't like. So I'm very, very choosy who I work with. The conversations, everything in that sense. Zara, I'll come to you, my friend. Christina, can you think about Denise's question, please? Yes. Go on, Zara.
LinkedIn might, but people messaging might not think about it. They figured, hey, you'll respond when you're awake. No, but yes, no, LinkedIn knows a lot about what we
It
do,
does. It does.
where we click, where we're going, what we're doing, the searches, and some of it is good for you, some of it not so much. But activity is always good,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
of any kind. Being active on the platform, that's what get you a little bit more visible. Another thing that I want to talk about is the opposite of everything that we just talked about: cleaning up. So when you send those 10, 15 connection requests every day, and now it is day 7, day 8, and people are only 2, 3 people are connecting with you, and the rest are not. Now there is all those numbers of invites that you send to somebody to connect, and they didn't connect with you. So you have to clear that. You have to clean up that. You have to withdraw those invites, or give it a last attempt with a personal message if you think it's really important that you talk to this person, because they know how many people did not connect with you. It's assessed weekly, periodically. They trying to, they see if you're doing things intentionally or randomly. And also, it's probably the most valuable metric you can have, more than the impressions. And it means that somebody barely clicked on the thing for 2 seconds, and that's an impression. So if you send a connection request, if you send your 15 or 10 a day, and you give it a week, and then you say, hey, 9 accepted, it means you're connecting with purpose. It is aligned. Or at least at a minimum, you're connecting with people that want to connect, at a minimum. But if you send those 10 and nobody connected with you, it means something is wrong. It's either you're just sending them randomly, or once people receive it from you, they look at your profile and say, no, I don't want to connect with this person. It's fishy. It's something. They want to sell, it just says it right there. So there must be a reason why it didn't work, right? And it's good data. If you see that this is happening every day, every 10, only 1, and nobody's connecting, there needs something that needs to be fixed. Either the people you're trying to connect to, or what they see once they receive the invitation from you. You don't have to send a message with every connection request. I tested it. It didn't really change how many people were accepting or not accepting. One good thing is that when you do send a connection request, you do see who sent it and what their headline said. So people can formulate an opinion on who they're connecting with. If I send a connection request, people that I haven't never spoken to before, I saw them somewhere, or I noticed their profile, and people are connecting immediately, that's a good sign, because it's crystal clear what I do in my headline. So they saw it and they still connected with me. So more often than not, there is some kind of alignment. And sometimes there is somebody who's going to book a call with me there, just out of connections. But the true thing happens when somebody comes to your events, somebody's reading your newsletter, you had a couple of messages, they did tell you their intentions, what they would like to do, whether they're ready right now or maybe they're ready later. And that's okay, because we must remember why we do what we do. I know why I started my business, and my purpose is great. It fires me up every day. So of course I want the business that sustains my livelihood. But at the core of it is that I do this with utmost passion. So people that I want to help those they want to create something on their own, because there is a strong motive behind it. So at the core of it, that's one thing that we must never forget, because working for yourself, and that's the whole gist of this series we decided to put together with Annie, is not for the faint of heart. It's not easier than getting up in the morning and doing the 9 to 5. It's harder, and you have to be emotionally, psychologically stronger than you were when you had to take all the crapola from your place of employment. So there's many people that I talk to. They come to remember those terrible days with fondness because they realized it's harder. It's harder, but um, if you have all the right intentions and you take all the right actions and you keep your mindset strong, you can create this repeatable pipeline for your business. Now, not everybody here listening today here has a service business. When you have a service business, client pipeline is of the essence. Some of you might be selling products, might be selling books, might be selling, goods, new goods or second-hand goods, and all those other things. But it's the same thing. You have to find a way to communicate with others what it is that you do, and find people that there is, if you connect with people where there is some kind of alignment. Oh, you do this? Great. In my business, we use this product, or we talk to people that utilize this exact product that you sell. That's somebody that goes in the pipeline, or somebody that sells not the service, but the physical product. So you can utilize LinkedIn for that as well. You really have to figure it out how it is that either you as the product or the brand or the product itself connects with the person that is going to utilize it, talk about it, refer it. But it's the same thing, only we use slightly different language, but it's the same thing. At the end of it is that you're waking up not to a Monday to Friday or 5 days, whatever day of the week you're asked to go to work, 8 hours plus a day, but you're waking up to say, now what? Do I have a system to get through the day so that 75% of my action is going to be toward generating something that sustains me, right? And the other 25 is going to be towards communicating with precision what it is that I do to generate the 75%. So that's the thing. And just not to waste time. You said it perfectly, Annie. We can't, time is precious, especially when you're putting so much time into the business that you're building. So precision is important. You
I
have
agree.
definitely time for giving, absolutely, right? That's not
Yeah.
a waste of time. But time just to talk about the weather and things like that, just because somebody on the other side thinks your picture is cute or something like that. No. So
Uh,
that's,
unless you're a if you're a weatherman or woman.
I know, I heard that a lot of people do that with you because your picture is cute.
Yes, it makes me blush. Zara, it sounds like you want to say something, right?
Yeah, everything looks greener on the other side. From the far away, everything looks greener and greener. I sell products. I'm selling journey packs, and I sell, transformations actually, and I sell. I sell them, but I work with people that I know, like, I have rules. Again, I feel like an independent business owner every day. When I wake up in the morning, I built those routines over time, and with the purpose that I have to grow and build this business. Now, residual income is very boring. It's very tiring. It's repetitive. If it is repetitive, if I say this, repetitive, you have to repeat, like Annie is repeating events, and he knows that now I have to get my clients from here, and events is one of the way. And now inviting those guests to come up on the stage, those who are really those who really wanted to understand that this is next level. Okay, this is next level. Handling 2, 3 events from people across the world, giving them an opportunity. Okay, come up on the stage if you are ready or you're not ready. This platform is for you. This platform is for you because I'm ready every day. When I wake up in the morning, I've got a mission because I have got appointments. I have to meet Christina at every cost. It's a commitment.
Book a
It's a
call.
commitment.
Yeah, no. So when Christina said create
I'm
a
looking for
system,
those people. Actually, I'm
yeah.
looking any. I have made those 5 C's in my life.
Mm,
And those 5 C's, I'm very like, character, commitment,
mm.
conviction, courtesy, courage. If you are
Ah,
weak hearted, you're weak hearted, you are not welcome to my side because it takes that. Because somebody before me tried
mm,
something and he got failed because he was consistent for 3 months and then he left and people got and he didn't made any money out of it and he stamped it with his opinion. Oh, scam. You know what I'm
mm.
saying, where I'm speaking at.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See,
On the next, on the chapter
I'm,
10.
I'm, I'm surprised cash was not part of your 5 C's, but I can understand. I'm being facetious. I can understand. I think we can all be more like you, more like Sean. Sean says, "I'm here to serve, and when I serve, there will be recompense."
Yeah.
We have to make money somehow. We all do, right? But there is a way. Now, money can't. It's not the priority. The relationship,
Yep.
especially on LinkedIn, has to be. And the people you're talking to, precision. Christina calls it, right? We have to know, who we're looking for. Maybe that's the start of all of this. Positioning, yes, but if you're talking to the wrong people, nah, nothing's gonna happen. Nothing good's gonna happen anyway, right? Nothing sustainable is gonna happen. And from there everything will work. I wonder what you think of Sean's question, Christina. I know what I do. Zara, of course, now I'd love to know your thoughts on this as well.
Yeah,
I see,
I
what
touched
you,
on it before.
you go. What's the
Without,
answer?
without.
Without, or
It's like
always
wait.
without, never with a note, or
Only if it really, you really said, I gotta connect with this person because I got something for them, or I want to do, I want to work with them, then yes, right? So
mm,
some time ago, I wanted to get on a group networking event, and I found this person because I listened to the podcast. So when I did connect with her, I did send a note, but that was one of the few exceptions. Most of the time, I tested it with and without. I used to send everyone with a note, right?
yeah.
Sometimes the note turns people off. So
It depends what I think. If you're sending a generic pitching message, then that will turn people off. And I said, literally, I don't know. Having been the one that sends so many thousands of connection requests a month, now I don't. So I send a handful, and there's a reason I'm sending you a connection request, and I'll tell you what it is. It's because you asked me to, or there's a reason. We had a conversation somewhere, maybe at an event, and you say connect with me. I'm just reminding you. I don't think I send many connection unless there's someone you know really well who's waiting for your connection request. I will put a note because
Um,
it's, I think it's just
it depends. I
yeah.
tested both. The thing is, if your headline is super clear,
hmm?
then that's it. And if you think now, if it is this, if you're connecting with somebody, so say it's the end of this event, right? And I go
Mhm.
through the list of attendees, and there's a person that was in the chat, and they are my second degree connections. We are not connected. Then I'll send a note. I said, hey, thank you for joining the event today. We're not connected. Let's connect, right? So that, yes, I think it grants a note, just recognizing that they took the time to listen to us talking here today. So that's it. But if I'm expanding my network, and I'm doing something, my daily routine, and I'm doing this 15. The first invite is just going to be without. Then, if I think it's important, I'll follow up, because I'll see, because I'm monitored. So that's the thing
Mm.
about repeatable systems, right? It's no send and forget.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
you know that you're doing this many in a day. And the reason why you choose to do this many in a day and only with some kind of precision is because you're monitoring your activity and what's going on out of these. I
Mm.
have I track my metrics. I didn't used to, and it was a hot mess. But since I've used this all this trick in the world, the spreadsheet, to say this is today, this is what I'm doing, and I don't spend 8 hours doing it. It's literally 1 hour process
Yeah,
out of my
yeah, yeah.
day.
I know what you
And but then
mean.
I
Yeah.
know what's happening. Then the next time I'm finding that, oh, I already spoke to this person. They never
Mm.
replied. It was 6 months ago. Cadence, right? Two, three
Mm.
messages, nothing. It's not in the
Yeah,
pipeline
yeah, let
anymore.
it go, let it go, move on, on to the next. But again, now there's something there that don't be fixed about who you connect with. It's the type of people that's more important. That's what I learned in my day. It's about there's many accountants on LinkedIn, for example. I'm saying don't be hung up about connecting with this accountant right here unless there's a reason for it. But as long as you connect with an accountancy firm, and with accountants in them, that's what matters, right? That's just an example. I'm saying some people get really stuck. Oh, he didn't connect with me. I'm like, why are you bothered? Find someone else like him. There's many others. It's LinkedIn, right? It's
And
not rocket
unless
science.
you had 5 calls face to face with them, you shouldn't take it personal.
Honestly, at all. And move on. Delete the connection request, and then, like you say, and then find another one, start and go again. That's marketing for you, right? Go on, Zara. Sorry, I think you were gonna speak.
It's kind of like impromptu blind date LinkedIn style, you know. And I do this because I really like it, but I do this intentionally because for over 1 year, I was connecting with those people maybe on site in different events, or corporate events, or anywhere.
Mm,
So I do this, Annie. I'm very, very, very serious about my business. So, and I'm
mm,
I'm loving it. I don't mind like if I'm earning, if I'm making money by the end of the day. I know because the system-based duplication exists, and we have
mm,
already worked. But to to bring them right there without connection request, because we have already said hello on site,
mm,
and now I'm like LinkedIn open style. So I do this with some people because I have seen them. They don't remember me. I have a picture with me, stuck. And then their mutual connections, because now algorithm, when you go click their profile, you see more 5, 10 people on the right side
mm,
showing
mm,
because they are in their connection. And if someone is familiar to me and I know, oh yes, he was also there, she was also there, open the request and then send directly. Uh, Mostly the people I connect have made my profile in such a way, and because I'm active, so they don't take much time, especially the locals or the professionals who are working for different companies. They don't take much time to connect with me. And if I know they are one of those 45 plus and they are working in a job, they're going to ask me, how about your small little business? When they ask me these questions, so I said them, yes, my
mm.
small little business is great, but how about your small little job? so, so it's like fun. I mean, I'm really enjoying this process of being an independent. Yeah, you have to feel like a business owner every morning, and it's a blessing.
I
It's a
agree.
blessing.
I agree. I think some just being human, just being normal helps, right? And I think from what I'll take from what you just said is that people know that you're not a bot. You're not an
Yeah.
automation tool. Many people are just too automated, too. Yeah, they I don't know. There's a word for it. They're too prim and proper, and they used to all sound like everyone, like anyone else, right? Nothing unique, nothing different. My friends, look, I'll thank you. So we do have to go sometime, right? Our time
Yeah.
has come, Christina. So Christina, do have so we have this workshop, how to get to your first 10K month consistently. You know, in is it fourth of March, something like that, something
12th
like
of March.
12th. Okay,
March
so
12th.
I have to create the event page. Until then, say I'm kind of stuck with my author speakers conference in my mind for now, right? I'll create the event for the next few days. That way, my friends can start buying tickets. Sean, I hope we answered your question. Christina says no, I say yes. And Zara said,
It's
what
blinded.
did you say, Zara?
What about what? Sorry.
Do you add a note to your connection request every time or not?
No, no, no. It's like a blind date, LinkedIn style.
Yeah, that's what you called it. Okay, so that's what his blind date thing was, right?
Yeah,
Zara,
just if you, I do only if there is a real good, I'm looking at this account and I must connect for a very specific reason, not randomly. Uh, Otherwise, and also it's because I don't send, 50
that
requests
may
a day.
yeah. I can't remember the last connection request I sent. Unless someone makes me, send me a connection request, I'm like, why? And they give me a good reason, I might send a connection request and say nothing. But I think I love the way Christina said it earlier.
Mm.
When you look at the numbers, it doesn't really make a difference. There's no difference whether you put a note or no notes. The response rate
Yeah.
is the same. It's very similar.
Even
That's
if I
LinkedIn.
request somebody, I have to go to their messages and tell them about myself. Hi, I'm Zarari Shaz. So what's the point?
Exactly. It's true. It's true. Look, the important thing is that there's many things that we can learn, right? And we all need a system to get a dependable number of leads every month, every week, every day. And whilst that's different to everyone, we have to do the work to put this system in place. That's what today's
Yeah.
session has been all about. There is a process that Christina has created. So engage with it, right? So I see how it works for you. If you struggle to make it work, talk to Christina. That's what I
But
say.
that's the other thing. I created it for myself.
Right. And,
It's,
and it works. It works. It works for you, right? It
exactly.
works.
Yeah. So
I've
I've
seen
been
it
doing
works.
this for almost 4 years, right? And just a little under a year per time, a full time. But I would go and look at my messages. Oh, did I do this? Did I do that? Uh,
Mm,
and things were working, but I felt a little overwhelmed by
mm.
looking at all these. And on the days where everything was going great, payments were coming in, I felt great, right? And on the days where things were slowing down a bit, I had nothing to look at. So I needed something to look at to know that I was taking daily actions. And also I
Yeah.
needed to track so that I could look and do an assessment, say, okay, I've done this for a year, doing this, and there is a cadence.
Mm.
There are some patterns here. Doing this is producing similar results, and
Yeah.
it's uncanny. So it's just simple thing. Nothing happens until you take action. If you
Yeah.
don't have a system, if you don't put it in your schedule, if you don't do it, and you don't
Yeah.
connect
You learn nothing,
and have
and
some conversations, one thing
mm.
is for sure, nothing is going to happen. But if
Yeah.
you do it and you're tracking your actions, and then you see, oh, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. uh, I got
And,
6 calls tomorrow, it's happening. So that's the thing.
if you got 6 calls tomorrow, it's definitely happening, right? I try to have at least one caller every day, one call a day, every day. That way, even if it's talking to my old friends, at least you're talking to someone, you're deepening the relationship rather than just bashing away at your keyboard. Go on, Zara. I saw you put your hand up, my friend.
Yeah, just like adding a little, like yes, backing up with what Christina said, you said to uh, build that relationship, but at times because the business which I'm building, like I said, I have like five C's. Five C's are absolutely clear because, and then having that person in my head, that CEO, that entrepreneur, that professional in my head. I know his replies. I know he can afford it. I know he's still making excuses on his health. I know that he tried my products, but now I he want him to level up and like intentionally reaching out to those people. And I know they're going to come back to me. Not today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, maybe after 6 months. Because they will be ready for it. Because and that is the time, Christina, what said, KR, when I look back, I don't I have I said I get overwhelmed, right? I will add here a little. That's what the beauty of network marketing is. Okay, when I see those ordinary people building their teams, and they have now people to 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 look up to because they all are working in a team and because they already invested something on their health or anything what the mission bigger mission is. And so now one of them is very good at enrollments, new leads. He knows the automation systems. Christina is only handling that part of it. And he's very good at product trainings. Just in case, because they are working in teams here. I can see Pakistanis, the locals. And I'm trying to build that, but but challenging because they it was so challenging here, the way it marketed, the way it networked in India and Pakistan, and they lost the essence of of that of that brand. So yeah, just like I'm not giving up. I'm going to build it from scratch and take it like the way it should be.
Yeah, I think in business, I think in business, it's easy what people do, which is blame everyone else. There's a reason why they're not buying. It's the economy, it's the people. It's someone. It's my childhood. It's like, damn, stop feeling like the
Even if
victim.
I need a lead, I have to pay. They have a system of now how they do it. That there's a girl who's sitting on the call, some ad running on the Facebook. You got to click it. It will take you to the WhatsApp. The lady is going to talk to you, and if I'm going to ask them, "Are you part of this network?" She's going to say, "No, no, no, I'm not working there." And then she's going to tell me that how I'm going to have more leads in life. So
For a
because the top
price.
managers are doing it, so
For a
it's like
price.
all messed up.
If you follow the simple model like the 4-step process we talked about today, it's easy. Your LinkedIn lead machine.
Yeah.
I like
You are the engine.
and then you're the genius behind it, my friend.
You're the
You're the
genius.
scientist.
The engine. You're the one that, there is no machine without an engine.
Oh no, we all need a scientist. Like we need a brain behind all of it. That's you.
It's not a Tesla, okay?
My friend, look, we're back again in 2 weeks' time. I said my also
Thank you.
speakers conference is coming up. I'm warning you now. I'm going to send you a DM with a link to buy your ticket. Your £10 ticket, $13, I think, in US money, right? Please buy the ticket. Don't delay, because I got to pay those authors, man. I got to pay those speakers. Be kind. It sounds like when you call me, I don't come supporting, right? Right, so Denise, I'm glad you said. Denise would say she was being serious with that question. Does LinkedIn know whether you're sleeping when you're awake? So it's good to know, right? Yeah.
They know. They know.
They know. They do. Who knows how, right? Anyway, look, thank you so much, everyone. Zara, thank you for
Hey, Annie.
Yeah.
Can I
go,
say
please.
something about your conference?
Of course you can.
Okay, so yeah, you did say, Annie is encouraging you to purchase a ticket. So it's another speakers conference, which means authors, with books, they have something really valuable to offer you in their subject matters are going to be there. And what he was saying is buy a ticket. So, of course, your purchase will benefit them and will ensure that this type of conferences go on and on and on. And
Yeah.
one of these days, you may be one of those authors in that
It will
conference.
be. Indeed. For
Exactly.
sure. For sure. Look, this is the first one. After this, we're going to take it to stages, right? Again, I want authors to get a proper stage or a live audience. If you got a book, I say, and, especially if we're friends, I will. I want to. This is the first of many, so I want to invite you to come and talk on our stage, and get paid. If I can't pay them to this time, then I'm in trouble, right? So go buy your tickets. Even if you can't make it, just know that you can have the replay, and it could be you next. I hope it's you next. And I'm looking at you, Sean. I know your book is ready as well. So there's many more people who got books here, right? Dr. Roxana. Oh, Dr. Roxana. Don't hate me. I know you got 5 books. I published all of them, so I'll invite you for the next one for sure, Dr. Roxana. Denise, thank you so much. We're trying to have fun at these events, right? It's better to have fun.
Yeah, amusing as always. Yes.
Way too serious. But thank you that you spent your time with us. Saying I'm away for a few days because I have to get on with my offline work. I can go home on Friday. So for my son's birthday on Saturday. So I have to do some work. I could put a show in for tomorrow. I'm not going to. I'm probably gonna be back on with some of my speakers. So we're gonna do some events for the sake of it, just so they can start telling the stories. You get to know them, and you get to buy a ticket for our event anyway, right? Christina, thank you very much. Zara, you're a star as always. Do enjoy your night, my friends.
Thank you.
Where are we now? Next time we're on, Christina, we're going to be on Restream. No difference to us. The same thing anyway. It really is the same thing. So, my YouTube friends, I love you. Do subscribe, comment on today's video, and like. It's working. This consistency is working. The YouTube's working eventually, right? There's a time when it was 0. There was no one there. Now the numbers, I've seen it go past 5 today. So the numbers are great. Now, if you just keep doing, the numbers will go up in almost any marketing you choose to do, right? Consistency is key, my friends.
Yeah, it looks like March 2nd.
Excellent. Yes, no. So we'll be on Restream then, because our next 23rd, I think, is when they want to charge me £200 for the same StreamYard service. I'm like, no need for that. Restream is better. Right, my friends, do enjoy. Happy birthday to your son. He certainly enjoy his birthday. He doesn't do anything. He's 17 as well, so that's an odd age, right? Who's the LinkedIn user? Who's this? I don't like to ignore anyone. So team replay here. That's fine. Okay, Marsha. Okay, I'm glad you're here. Enjoy, my friends. Enjoy. Bye.
Every step forward is a new beat to your drama. She's success with Global.Media.com and celebrate it with or without champagne or rum. She's success with Global.Media.com. Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with Global.Media.com and celebrate